Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name's Anina Hansen, bringing you our Voices of Monadnock, facilitated by the Greater Monadnock Collaborative Chamber of Commerce and Monadnock Family Services Trauma Responsive Monadnock program. So this is where we just talk with people from the area, about the area, and our experiences here, and specifically some of the adversities that we have gone through and how we make it work for life here. So we have awesome guests today. Two sisters who are here representing their business and as recent residents of the Monadnock region. So Nilaja and Elisa, welcome so much. Thanks for being here today. And I'm just going to turn it over and let you tell me a little bit about how on earth you ended up here in the Monadnock region and what you're doing now that you're here.
Well, first, thank you for having us. Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to give the story. Sorry.
Okay, it would be a cooperative effort.
Yes. So we are sisters, and we ended up here about 3.5 years ago. We visited our cousin who had some lake houses, and we'd come up for the summer, and obviously during the pandemic we were able to come up a few times.
Coming up from
New York City.
I can see why you'd want to be here instead of there during the pandemic.
So we took that opportunity to kind of frequent the area quite a bit that year. And he had been living here for about, off and on for about 20 years at that point. His parents had a farm in Winchester, and our aunt and uncle, and which he had gotten that farm for them, about 25 years ago now. And it was just like, a fluke that there was some stuff that was available for him to purchase on Main Street, like some buildings that were empty. And he decided he wanted to build a distillery, something that he'd wanted to do for many years, having visited his granddad in the Carolinas for the summer when he was a little kid, So, so he would visit him, and I think at 10 years old, he learned how to make whiskey and moonshine in the backwoods.
Not everybody can say that,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he took that with him through his, his adulthood, college, making some bathtub gin and that for his friends and
useful
stuff.
skill in college,
Very useful skill. Very useful skill. And he decided, I'm going to do this. It's something he always wanted to do. And in retirement, after he retired, let's do this. And he did. And for 4 years, he tinkered around in there, built it. It's a gorgeous building, gorgeous facility. And he perfected the whiskey and moonshine that Uncle Bob had
amazing recipes.
Left those recipes for him.
Recipe,
exactly. And he did it. And so in 2020, he decided, okay, who's next? Who in the family wants to do this? So my sister and I and our husband said, you know what, why not? We were all on break from like the rest of the world.
Right.
And we purchased it from him, and here we are.
Okay, that sounds like a huge transition to go from life in New York to life in Winchester, New Hampshire.
Yes.
As, I don't even know, what are you, distillers? What is your title? What is this job
distillers.
Distillers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, being in Winchester, we were one of maybe 3 or 4 Black people in the area. So, but it's funny because you just never felt.
You never felt like that.
It.
Yeah.
We were never made to.
That's so great.
No,
I love hearing that.
It was a concern.
Yeah.
When we first got there, it was
just like okay,
well, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But never felt like it.
Yeah.
And we were welcomed with open arms, and it's been amazing.
Well, you're just the best pitch for the Monadnock region I could ask for. We are a really inclusive area, but I'm so happy to hear that has been your experience?
It has been day in, day out. We get so many different customers from all over, not just our local folks. So it's really nice to tell the story. People always, they're very curious.
I bet.
How did you get here? What are you doing here? What is it like? You know, so we feel like we're the, you know, some of the best advocates for the region.
Absolutely.
And for what's to come in the region. You know, we can see just on our main street what we're doing, what others are doing, and hopefully what we're inspiring others to do, and people who don't know about the area.
Right.
You know, and it's a beautiful place. The people are great, and you know, it was a transition. You can talk about the transit. She has small children.
Definitely a transition. At the time, I had a 6 and 13-year-old. So it was hard because the 6-year-old was just starting his friend base.
Yeah.
The 13-year-old was entering high school
And had a friend base.
and had a friend base. So then the world was shut down, and then we had to move from what they knew. But yeah, it was different. It was hard because when we moved here, the world was shut down. There was nothing moving, nothing happening, and we couldn't.
You can't go connect in
Right,
the community.
couldn't connect with anyone. But I always love to tell this story because now it's a distant memory. I used to tell them all the time, you know, it's not going to be forever. And so anyway, we moved here. We were for a year, obviously, at home. You know, the kids were at home, but we were in that distillery day in, day out learning. And then here we are. Look, it's 3.5 years later, and everybody's thriving. The distillery is thriving. You know, the kids are thriving. But yeah, it was a bit of a culture shock to them also. Not so much to us, because we knew, because we would visit.
We would visit.
Yeah.
We would
You had
visit.
context
Yes.
for
We
the
had
area.
contact,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for children, it was not,
Right.
you know. So I do think that the experience is something that they will carry with them, and you know, they knew New York City,
Right.
you know, and we always talk about going from the city to the country, and you're going to the
Right.
country, but to live here, it's been, you know, I hope that they take away the really good memories here. You know, it's very different.
What would you say, what's your experience been as far as parenting city first and now parenting here in the Monadnock region? What are the pluses?
Right. So my children are grown, so they parent themselves, but you can speak to that.
I think my children parent themselves.
On a good
Well,
day.
you know what? And I'm saying that to say the live free part, you really can live much freer here. You know what I mean? In New York, you kind of like
Restricted.
it's like lock. I was gonna say lock and key, but you're restricted. So here, things are just so much more freer. You get to experience the outdoors more. Oh boy, my just turned 17-year-old last month is driving already.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a lot different. And I think they do appreciate. I know they appreciate that. I know they do miss New York, but I know that they appreciate this experience here. Yeah. And they're very happy.
And don't get us wrong, New York will always be
Always.
New York.
Always.
Right.
No place like it.
Yeah.
And we go
Exactly.
back a lot from time. We still have our families, you know, our
Right.
extended family there, but you know, I realize we're always glad to come home to New Hampshire.
Isn't
I
that
am.
nice?
I am, yeah,
You know,
definitely.
when you hit that tipping point
Yes,
of
yes.
which is the one I visit and which is the one I call
Exactly.
home,
Right.
and there's that point
Exactly.
where it's like,
That's right.
they've switched places
Yeah.
now.
We've switched.
Yeah.
That I think in the past year and a half, we realized that, you know, we miss there's only one thing we miss, and that's being able to get any kind of food
at any time.
right?
That will never change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think this has been the best experience I know I've had in terms of living anywhere.
It's peaceful.
Yeah, and I've lived a few places besides New York, you know, college and stuff like that. So this has been, yes, peaceful. The living free part is true.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
really is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, growing up here, it's just sort of something I take for granted. It's good to be reminded.
Yeah,
Other people
right.
coming
Yeah.
in, oh yeah, there is something different.
Yeah.
There is
about
something
being-
different.
What about from the business point of view? How has it been running a business in the area?
It's been great. You know, I mean, obviously everybody's struggling with getting help.
Yeah.
And that right now, because we're a family business and there's 4 of us, we've been okay. And then we also have like Nilaja's daughter, who's she's there with us on the weekends, so she runs the tasting
have
room.
our aunt.
We have our aunt who's moved
That's so
here
great. Yeah.
as well. She's there on the weekend, so
So
we've
it's
been
always
okay.
going to be somebody to like stomp on the
Ex-
grapes if you
exactly.
need it. Huh?
Exactly.
Bring in the
That's right.
family.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do anticipate expanding in the next year. So we will be hiring, and hopefully we're hoping, crossing our fingers, that that'll work out okay. But from a business point of view and operations and such, it's been really easy to get things done. You know, paperwork and just, you know, we've done business in New York and other states, and this was a really
By far.
a lot simpler.
Simpler, yeah.
A lot simpler. And then people are more apt to support local. So that's also a good thing.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a nice awareness of that.
Oh,
around here.
absolutely. There's an intention.
Yeah.
People are intent.
Yeah. And we also
So-
have great distillery friends
Oh, yeah.
who are
Mm-hmm.
so helpful
Yeah.
to us.
I'm sorry.
and
What
we're
is
like
a distillery friend?
So we have other distillers at distilleries,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, who have
Yeah.
been really, really
Yeah.
intentional about just helping each other, helping us,
that's so
helping
nice.
each other.
If we have
yeah.
a problem with the still,
Yep,
we
we can
call
call.
up, you know,
Yeah.
Brian at Flag Hill or
Blake
Blake at Copper
yeah,
Cannon.
yeah.
And they, you know, they
amazing.
come on down and help us tinker around and fix that still and get the whiskey out,
Yeah.
you know. So it's been great.
Yeah.
It's really been nice. It's really been nice.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit. You know, I work with trauma responsive Monadnock, so our focus is on, you know, preventing trauma for youth as much as possible, but basically everybody's dealing with their stuff, and we're the grown-ups walking around with that and trying to become aware of it so that we're not passing it down
Yes.
to youth. So it impacts us at no matter what developmental stage we are. And what we'd like to do here is kind of look at it's not that you can really look at adversity from a positive point of view, but as far as particularly being people of color coming into the area here with the sorts of adversity that you have faced, how is it for you being here now, and how does that show up in your experience? It's a little abstract, but see, how can you?
No, so you know, obviously it was really different. What was nice was to see another business. Immediately, we were able to see another business of color right here in Keene on Main Street, Yasso, the Jamaican,
Love
and
that
we
place.
are also of Caribbean descent.
Okay.
So it was a nice connection there. And then from there, what happens is you know, it's a community, right? So she's like, oh, you should meet such and such and such and such. So we joined that was the inaugural year, I think, in 2021 of the Business Alliance for People of Color.
BIPOC.
It's
Is
called
that a New Hampshire
BAPOC.
thing,
It's in
or-
New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yep, it's
First
in New
I've heard
Hampshire.
of it. So
Yeah, yeah.
not a Monadnock thing, a New
No,
Hampshire
it's
thing.
a New Hampshire thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we joined the Business Alliance for People of Color. They did an article on the organization that year in the 603 Diversity magazine, and which was another thing that I was happy to see, that there is a magazine dedicated to
Yes.
diversity.
I don't know about this either.
603 diversity.
Good
yes.
to know.
Yes.
So that's the thing. It's almost like a little small hidden community of folks. And so what happens is those types of organizations, and they help with those questions. They help with, you know, well, how is it for people of color? You know, the obvious question: what is it like for a person like me, to be able to do business? Who's the most reasonable banker?
Right.
What's the organization? Those are things that we have to think about. You know, who's going to lend us money to open up a business?
Right.
Who understands that, you know, there are a lot of things that come with being a person of color. unfortunately. It's just like, that's just how it is. It's, you know, a lot of stereotypes, a lot of things. So, you know, we may have to work, you know, a little bit harder to get things done or to be understood. You
And
know?
has that been your experience? Do you feel like you've had to, like Monadnock versus New York?
So and interestingly enough, we've been
a little less harder here than we do in New York.
It's been so, people are so willing, and I mean, when I say emailing us, they get our information from someone else and someone else, you know, organizations, we have money for that, or there are resources for, you know, just people wanting to help and understanding that we may need a little extra help because of, you know, just how things are. It's been great, you know, and we're not looking for any kind of a, you know, handout, or we want to just go through the same
help
process
that you would offer others. Yeah.
So it's
and
really nice that they
Good.
get it, and you do want to find your community.
Yeah.
You know, you do need to find your community.
Everybody needs that.
Everybody needs that.
Definitely.
And I have to say, you know, even though we just had another couple who moved to Winchester about a week ago.
Oh yeah.
Another black couple.
Black couple.
Just he had ties to Winchester when he was younger, and he's like retiring, and they came into the distillery, and I think that we being there was a great a catalyst for them coming back.
I would
there.
think.
So they bought a house
around the corner.
And they are now there. They're finding community.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, one of the things about trauma, adversity, is it's most important for us as humans, as social beings. We have this very strong biological imperative for safety and connection. That's what community is. And that's why, you know, we're mammals and we're dependent on others for our survival. But there's something really beautiful about the fact that you can come here, find your community, and also be part of creating community for everybody to have that experience of when I'm here, I feel safe, I feel connected.
Absolutely.
And you're helping to make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
We've had so many people of color come through the tasting room. You know, we've had so many people of color come through the tasting room, and they're like, where am I?
I didn't expect to
I didn't
find
expect
this
to
when I
find,
walked in.
this is not what I expected. Like, how is it going?
Right.
Is everything okay?
Yes. Yes.
You know, and we just love everybody that comes through that. I don't care who you are, what your political, we don't care about any of that.
No.
We just love, and the conversations that we're having. When we first got there early on, we had that customer who said, you know, he'd been there with us for about an hour.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, if you listen to the news, we're not even supposed to be
or doing this.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're dealing with, there's always that, you know, nagging thing in the back of your head. Never mind that we're New Yorkers, so we're always like, you know, skeptical.
Exactly.
But
you can't help it.
Right. So forget about what color we are.
Right.
It's just we're New Yorkers.
Right.
So that was a thing. But, you know, we were always, you know, there's always that, like, you know, is everything
What
okay?
if?
Are
Yeah, what
we
if
okay
happened?
here?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say that you know, we feel like we're great. We're okay. Everyone has made us feel that way, you know.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's whether or not everybody sees it right now, ultimately the community benefits from newness.
Yeah.
You know, we all need that. Otherwise everything just becomes stagnant and everyone needs some new perspective, some new influence, some new blood, everything.
Right. Yeah. And I think we understand the importance of joining the organizations that are here, you know, so like BAPOC, the Business Alliance for the People of Color, the Winchester, the Chamber of Commerce,
economic development.
You know, we're having a great event with them tonight. We're expecting like 25, 30 people to come in, and just business owners, you know. The Winchester Economic Development Corporation, that's, you know, committee, that's a big deal, you know.
Nice.
So we're joining things, we're on the boards, we're figuring it out, you know, and we're integrating.
Yes.
Wonderful. So great. So tell me, just for you personally, as women with the interests that you both have, what do you like about what you can do or what you can have access to here in the area?
What you can do or what you cannot.
I mean, are you hikers or?
I was gonna say, so that's my goal for next year. 'Cause I think we spend most of our time in the distillery, but
Well, fair enough. New business. I mean,
yes,
it's your baby right
we
now.
haven't really gotten to do much, but I know that there is the world of things out there for for us to access.
The rail trails.
I was gonna say
right
rail
through
trails,
our
bike trails,
backyard.
hiking.
Yeah.
Even in the summertime, the canoeing and
Yeah.
the kayaking, and which we have done. Which we have done
Nice.
that.
Well, what's nice is
but
the kids come and they get to do it.
Right.
So
Yes.
we're like, okay, so
Right.
yeah, we'll get there.
Well,
you
it
know.
becomes one of those things. It's like when you live in New
family
York,
thing.
you don't go to the Empire State
No,
Building.
we sure don't.
No, the
And when
Statue
you
of
live
Liberty.
here, it's like, oh
Like,
yeah, I'll go kayaking sometime
Yeah.
this summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody they're like, oh my God, I'd live on this lake, or I'd
Yeah.
hike that mountain.
Yeah, what I do like is that, oddly enough, we do more family things here.
Okay.
We do. Than we have in New York. I mean, we did family
Yeah.
things in New
Yeah.
York, but
We're
yeah,
intentional
we do.
about
Yeah, we
that.
are.
Nice.
Yeah, really intentional about doing family things here, and like even even the restaurants and stuff being closed on Mondays and Sundays.
Oh,
Right.
that's
Because
funny.
when we would normally be like, "Come on, guys, let's go." It's like,
yeah.
no, we
We're
are
like, why is
cooking
it
dinner,
closed?
and actually we're sitting down
Yeah,
and having,
yeah.
and we get to talk, and we get to,
Different
and
quality
just
of
so
life.
it is a different, definitely a different quality
Yeah.
of life. So
Yeah.
that I appreciate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That is so great. I think
Yeah.
you are both an awesome advertisement for what it can be like to come from an urban area to
Oh,
our
for
rural
sure.
area.
Yeah.
For sure.
Come from outside New England to our little corner of
For
New
sure.
Hampshire.
For
It's been
sure.
amazing.
Yeah. It's
And
been great.
to come in and be contributors right off the bat
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And you're saying you're distributing throughout New Hampshire. Like this is your place where you're
Yeah.
giving back
that's right.
with the economy and
We
all
have
of
to. We have to. If we're gonna take, we've got to give.
That's
you know.
right.
So absolutely. And New Hampshire gives a lot. So.
Nice. Okay. Oh, that's like the most beautiful little soundbite. We're done. I want to end it on that note. Thank you
And
both
scene.
so
No,
much
thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
problem.
And we're excited to see how your business grows and
Yes.
how things continue to develop. What are you hoping for with just as you look ahead? I mean, we're recording this at the end of 2023. As you look ahead to all of 2024 before you, a year from now, what do you want to be able to look back and say?
Ooh, we did it. We did it.
That we've met all our 2024
yeah,
goals.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have a laundry list. But I think just that we were able to make the change successfully that we did. That we were, and we have something to prove. We have something to show for it. That our business has expanded the way we'd like it to, and that everyone in New Hampshire knows who we are.
Nice.
So, everyone in the whole state, knows who we are and beyond, That's it right now.
Perfect. So you are
it.
bringing Monadnock out beyond the walls
Absolutely.
of the region here for us.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for
Thank
being
you.
here on the show today and for being here in our community and helping make it better.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.